Good morning, and I'd like to thank everybody that joined us this morning. And I'd like to welcome you to Catch. My name is Patricia Smith, and I'm the founder and executive director of Catch High School. Richard, where is my thing? Why can't I see the thing? I don't want to see me. So where's the first page? Will it automatically go?
Mm-hmm.
This is not the first page. Okay. All righty. So I wanted to say that 19 years ago, I had finished a successful career in the fashion industry. And I've always wanted to give back to the learning community. So I decided that the best way that I could give back was through education. So I drafted a petition for a school that I wish that my son could have attended. A school where children are going to have opportunity and equal access. I grew up during segregation. I went to all Black schools. White people lived on one side of the railroad track. Black people lived on the other side of the railroad track. Was the education equal? No, it was not. But once I went to college, I went to a school that had 20,000 students and 100 Blacks. That was the beginning of integration. So as we sit here today, Catch gives you and your child the opportunity to attend any university you so choose. All you have to do is make sure that you do the best in contributing and getting from your education. So here we sit 18 years later, Catch Prep High School. Again, welcome.
Thank you so much, Ms. Pat. And for those of you that don't know, Ms. Pat is not only our founder, but our executive director. My name's Josh Arnold. I've been working with Ms. Pat and Catch since 2008 in various capacities. I'm one of the people that's responsible for sending so many text messages to everyone throughout the summer. So thank you for reading those and bearing with me. One of the text messages that we sent before today had this graphic on it, which is our online learning academy. And hopefully this was a helpful way for you to kind of understand the framework by which Catch Prep has been planning, how we will deliver instruction in the fall. And since we sent this out, we've gotten a lot more specific, which is why we want to have this meeting with you and why we want to be crystal clear in explaining how this school year will start so that you have an opportunity to ask questions and we can provide answers so that everybody is successful in this unprecedented time of a global health emergency. This slide is particularly important because it explains what the Catch Prep Learning Day will be like. I actually recommend for those of you who are on a phone to screenshot this right now. We will be sharing it out later, but this is a super important slide so that you can understand what it's going to actually look like for you, the student, or for your child, parents, every single day. We are going to have a 6-period learning day that will occur synchronously, which means everybody will be participating at once every single day. All class periods will be 40 minutes in length, and the actual time of the learning day will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every single day. Teacher availability for one-on-one tutoring will occur every day until 3:30, and of course, students will have the opportunity to have lunch or grab a bite or take a break, probably between 1 o'clock and 1:45 or so. Fridays are going to be a little bit different than the Monday through Thursday schedule. On Fridays, we have a class for those of you that are new called Catch Class. Catch Class is a school-wide class in which we discuss, reflect, and write about current issues of the day. It's a powerful and meaningful class that we've had since the beginning of our charter. Catch Class will take place on Fridays at 9 o'clock, or excuse me, at 9:30. And before that, we'll have a community meeting. Parents are invited as well, where we'll get together as a family and we'll talk about the latest goings-ons, including information regarding to college access, like SAT registration dates or upcoming state testing, or whatever the academic and social topics of the week are that are relevant. That's what we'll go over. Those of you who are familiar know that that's a really important and powerful tool that we have, and those of you that are new will hopefully find it very valuable as well. That'll occur every Friday at 9 o'clock. Also on Friday, teacher-parent conferences will be available. They'll be available in this format right here via a Google Meet. And also we'll talk later about how our Catch campus is actually physically open by appointment only for those of you who may want to come in for a question or a conference. College guidance and mental health counseling will also be available until 3:30 p.m. Every day, but in particular on Fridays. We want to block that time out. And of course, special education and English learner support is available every day, but there's a big chunk of time for that to occur also on Fridays. So again, this slide is particularly important as it goes over the structure of our learning day, and questions that you have about this we'll absolutely answer at the end. But we want to make sure everybody has this information and understands that school will take place every day, 9 a.m. till 3:30, classes from 9 to 1, and individual one-on-one support, homework and study time from 1 to 3:30. There will be classroom expectations, of course, just like any other learning day would expect to have. Class sizes at Catch, so those synchronous learning classes will be about 15 to 1 on average. Those are small class sizes, and that's been a hallmark of the Catch Prep high school tradition since inception. The idea that smaller class sizes allow for individual attention to be given from teacher to student in a way that class sizes of 40 and 45 are just simply impossible to do. So your child will on average be in classes that are about 15 to 1. Some may be smaller, maybe 12, 13 to 1. Some might be larger, 16 or 17, but 15 is about the average. Bathroom breaks in this virtual environment are encouraged. Students don't need to ask to go to the bathroom. Simply step away from the computer and return promptly. Students who step away from the computer and never come back will actually be booted out of the class. Teachers have an ability to do that, and your participation won't count for that day. And we'll talk about how we track participation and attendance on the next slide. Tardies count. There's no reason for students not to be on time, especially when you're in your own home environment and there's no distance to travel to get to another class. You simply log off and log back on via Google Meet. Passing period is minimal. Students should log out of one meet and log immediately back into another. In regards to attendance, we really want to be clear, and this Google Meet is a good example of what we anticipate, what we don't want, because so many students right now have their cameras off, so we want to go over that. Attendance for fall 2021 will only count in classes if a student's camera is on. So Catch can see, track, and share student attendance and meet length. Let me be clear for families who are new. We have the ability to print out a report and send to all parents, not only whether or not your child logged on, but how long they were logged on for, how many minutes, and whether or not they meaningfully participated. So for example, a student may say to their parent, "Hey mom, I logged on today," and parent could ask for a report from Catch, and we could say the student was logged on for 3 minutes. We're not looking for that, and that really isn't going to count for participation for fall 2021. Your camera must be on, and you must be meaningfully engaged in the educational process. Students who do not engage with instruction with their camera on will not be counted as participatory. And we imagine that students or families might have questions about having their camera on, or about hairdos or hoodies or uniforms or being in your pajamas. And so to that, Ms. Pat, I was wondering if you could kind of chime in and talk about what your expectations are for your camera on, given all the considerations of students learning from their homes.
Sure. First, I'd like to thank Sir Charlie for having his uniform on this morning. But as we move forward for this fall, we will not expect students to wear uniforms. But what we will expect is that they are properly dressed. That means that their hair is not in disarray. They look like they're at school. No hoodies. There will be no blue, no red. Everybody should have on a shirt. We shouldn't see anybody that doesn't have on public attire. So no pajamas, no hoodies. We won't wear uniforms the first semester.
Thank you so much, Ms. Pat. Students with questions about that or families will absolutely answer them. Isaiah asked if your camera isn't good enough. And just to make clear to all students and parents, we'll be issuing you a school-issued Chromebook where the cameras are all working. And any device that becomes defective at any point in the year, you'll be able to trade in. So there will be no reason for students not to have their camera on. And just to be clear, hopefully everybody agrees, we're preparing students for college. And so the idea of going to school where students can't meaningfully engage with their teachers and teachers can't observe their students in a learning environment is essential. And so hopefully everybody's on board with that. And Genesis is asking, are we going to school or online? Genesis, we're going to school online. We've been texting that throughout the summer. If you're not getting those text messages, let us know. Moving forward.
But Genesis, but you are going to school. You're going to school. You're not going to come to the physical campus, but you're going to school and you will be in class from 9 to 1. Is that good?
Great, Ms. Pat. And this is exactly why we're having this meeting, everyone, just to build clarity and consensus throughout our entire community. And there's going to be more about school is school and that ethos and message throughout this presentation. To parents and students, if you plan on being absent, you must contact the school ahead of time. Our phone number is on our website, and hopefully it's dialed into your phone, 323-293-3917. Absences can be excused with a doctor's note or similar documentation. But if you don't show up and you don't have an excuse, then you will have an unexcused absence on your record. Those of you who are familiar with unexcused absences, they're really a pain and a hassle. They end up going to something called a SARB review board, which is an attendance review board. And students can even get, and parents and families can even get tickets from the district attorney for students not showing up to school. So we want to make sure that everybody's going to school and that any absences are excused by a doctor's note or other documentation. Otherwise, students may not miss class for any unexcused reasons. Regarding copying, cheating, and plagiarism, those who are familiar with Catch and students who are returning are very clear on this. We absolutely don't allow any copying, cheating, or plagiarism. Again, this is a college prep school. If you were to cheat in any way in college, for those of you that don't know, you would be automatically suspended and kicked out of that college or university on the day that you cheated. There is technology now that allows us to check for plagiarism. Students can absolutely not copy and paste from Google or anything of the sort. We're able to find it. And the real point here is if you do that, you're really hurting yourself. Catch is not interested in reading copy and pasted statements. We want to know what you do and don't know, what you do and don't understand, so that our teachers can meaningfully address that in school. Students are really hurting themselves when they copy. Now, of course, on a paper for English or history, if you need to cite some work, you're absolutely able to do that. So citations are encouraged and are taught throughout the school year. But your goal is not just to cite work, but really further a message. So citations are important, but you building original thoughts and ideas to further those citations are really what Catch is all about. And hopefully all of our students and parents are on board in that regard. So Again, there are plagiarism checkers that our teachers use to validate student originality. And so those of you that are new freshman students or students coming from other schools with different cultures, let us just save you some time. Do not cheat or plagiarize or contemplate it in any way. There are severe academic consequences for doing so, and you don't want to fail a class in high school. Again, this is for new students, but we use Google Apps for Education, which means all students will have a @Catch High School email address. When you come in next week, which we'll talk about, to pick up your Chromebook, all new students will get their Catch High School email address and will have their custom password set for them when they pick up. That will make your Chromebook able to be used immediately. You'll have access to Gmail, Google Docs, Google Hangouts, and everything else that Google provides. So those of you that are familiar with that will be able to use that easily. Those of you that are not will have some online trainings, and we'll talk about that as well. Parents, to use Google Meet and to get the full functionality for getting all of your students' data every week sent to you in terms of what assignments they've turned in and how they've done on tests and quizzes, it's going to be essential for you to have a Gmail account. Gmail accounts are free. For those of you that don't have one, we encourage you to sign up for a personal Gmail account, and then we will link that to your student account on the first week of school, and you will have reports sent to you every day or every week, however you prefer, on what your student has and hasn't completed, what their grades are, and how their progress is, including how long they've attended each and every day. This is another important slide. So families, if you'd like, you can screenshot this. This really goes over our Chromebook distribution. We're distributing our Chromebooks early because we believe our students and parents need them. We don't want to scramble the week before school to get everybody the devices that they need. So to be clear, ninth grade, you are scheduled to come in, all ninth grade students and families, on Monday, August 3rd, 2020, which is next Monday, from 8 to 4. The campus is open from 8 to 4. New students who will all be freshmen can come in and pick up their device, as well as get their username and password, and as well as ask Ms. Pat or myself or any administrator here any questions that you have that don't get answered today about school, about expectations, academics, or culture. 10th grade is on Tuesday, next Tuesday, 11th grade next Wednesday, and 12th grade next Thursday. If for some reason you are not able to come to the Catch campus on any of those days, you must call the school to schedule a pickup. You have to have a Chromebook in order to be counted on our full registration roster, because Chromebooks are an essential tool and device for learning. You can opt not to pick up a Chromebook and use the device that you have, but again, we would want you to call in and let us know that, because we need to make sure that every student has access to a device immediately. For those of you who have questions about free Wi-Fi or want information about how to get a hotspot, also please call the school. We have information for you on that, and we will be sending that out as well. Again, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th are coming in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week to pick up those Chromebooks. If you'd like to make an appointment for a specific time within that, you don't really need to, because we'll be here from 8 to 4, but if for some reason you'd like to call us and talk about it, that's fine. But just want to make sure that people are clear about our Chromebook distribution protocol. Ms. Pat, anything you want to say about that?
Yes, on our slide here, the address is incorrect. So it's 4120 11th Avenue, and we're on the back side of Audubon Middle School. You enter the campus through 9th and Creed, 4120 11th Avenue, and that's for the 9th graders.
Absolutely.
Make sure that they know the address and understand where they will be picking up their devices.
If you had a Chromebook for summer reading, you can keep the Chromebook that you have. We have that listed for you. But all students who are returning to Catch have already returned their Chromebooks. And so you'll need to come and pick one up. Again, if you'd prefer to use your own device, you may, but we would want you to know that. So we'll be calling people who don't pick up Chromebooks just to make sure that you'll be using your own device. But again, your Chromebook is basically your registration into Catch. And just real quick to answer Sir Charlie's question about will we be going back to the campus anytime this year? Ms. Pat, did you want to address that real quick?
Well, the campus is open, which means that the teachers will be on campus from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So if the seniors, if we were doing an activity with the seniors, then we would ask them to come on campus. If you needed counseling or you needed some help through our special ed department, the campus is open. And then if you have a need to come to the campus, we just wanted you to know that the campus will be open, the staff will be here, the teachers and the administrative staff.
And when you do visit the campus, and Ms. Martinez will go over this in this next section, strict social distancing will be required as well as masks. Ms. Martinez, do you want to talk about our COVID-19 health and safety protocol?
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm Ms. Martinez. I've been working at Catch since before many of you students were even born. I'm entering into my 18th year now, and I serve as one of the school administrators here at Catch. So like Dr. Arnold said, I'll be talking briefly about some specific school operations and its changes based on COVID-19 rules and remote learning. So moving on, as many of you already know, our Governor Gavin Newsom announced new rules this month that has caused state districts, including Catch, to teach remotely when school starts next month. So these rules put schools in counties that the state has put on a watch list. And LA County is on a watch list, and so we're required to teach 100% online. If you look at the slide here, in order for a county to return to in-class instruction, the daily case counts must be below 100 per 100,000 residents, and the positive test rate needs to be below 8%. And that has to hold true for for 14 consecutive days. So unless that happens, schools in LA County will not be, unless that happens for LA County, schools will not be able to return to in-class instruction. So that is the information that we've received from our governor, and that's what we're going on. Moving on to the next slide, we've already mentioned, the Catch campus will be open, and so Catch has developed a COVID-19 health and safety plan. So as part of that plan, we will require all visitors to make appointments to visit the school. All visitors must wear a mask, and we must all practice strict social distancing. And that goes for students, and when staff is on campus, that will be the same protocol for staff as well. Know that the campus is deep cleaned regularly with state and district approved disinfectants, and all teachers and staff will have the ability to get tested weekly for coronavirus. Now, in the event, let's say a teacher gets sick during the year or they need to quarantine, please know that instruction will continue, and it will continue via a substitute teacher to lead instruction. So in no time due to COVID, testing positive for COVID or having to quarantine, will we stop instruction for you. Now, let's say, for example, you as a student, you test positive for coronavirus or you need to quarantine. We're gonna ask that parents let the school know if they feel comfortable and know that there's confidentiality. So the most important thing is that you make sure that you call and let us know. And you'll be receiving more detailed information in terms of the specific protocol, but just know in general, these are the things that we have in place. Next slide. Now the Catch Audubon campus will continue to be a designated food center, a grab-and-go food center. Now all breakfast and lunch for Catch students will be 100% free. So you will not be required to pay for any of your meals. Now to begin the year, breakfast and lunch will be available for pickup on Tuesdays and Thursdays, again from the Catch Audubon campus. Now, we haven't received the specific time yet, but we do know that it will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And how it will work is that on Tuesday, you will receive 4 meals. It will be your breakfast and lunch for Tuesday and Wednesday, And then Thursday, you'll receive 6 meals. It will be your breakfast and lunch for Thursday, Friday, and Monday. We know that there will be identification required, and that families will need to arrange transportation for the campus to pick up meals. Again, in terms of the times and the specific identification that will be required, we don't have that information yet from the district or Audubon, but as soon as we get that information, you'll receive detailed instructions when it comes to that. Next slide, Dr. Arnold. Okay, so in order for us to make sure that we have sufficient meals for our families and our students, we're going to send a lunch survey via text later on today. And we ask that you please complete this by Friday. It's not going to take you no more than 3 minutes max to complete, but it's very important for you to complete it because we want to make sure that we have the right numbers for the start of the year. That way we don't have any food shortages at the start of the school year. And lastly for me, I want to make sure that the entire school community is on our text messaging list. Now, I know that most of our parents are on this list, and we ask that our students, please, parents, make sure that students also are text Catch Prep to the number that's, I know you see it 3 times there on the slide, but it's the same thing. Text Catch Prep to 833-602-8476. We want to make sure that parents are on the list, that students are on the list, aunts, uncles, guardians, caregivers, everyone and anyone is on the list, because we don't want any of this important information to get missed. This is, again, we're starting remote learning, and all of the information that we provide is important, vital information, and we would hate for you to miss out on any of that. And with that said, I'll pass it over to Ms. Taniguchi.
Hi, good morning. My name is Ms. Taniguchi. This is my 11th year at Catch High School, and I serve as Catch's resource coordinator, and I'm also a part of Catch's administrative team. I'm going to go over our school supply list. Students are going to school. So what that means is that all supplies that would be needed for face-to-face learning are still needed. That includes essentials such as pens, pencils, papers, notebooks, etc. Chromebooks will be provided by Catch, and we recommend good quality headphones and a desk and a quiet designated workspace for kids. To your right, you'll see our school calendar. It still remains the same, and we follow LUSD's calendar, and this is also available on our school website.
Okay, so I'd like to say, if you don't have a desk, all we're asking is that the student has a quiet working space, because we know that all students don't have desks in their homes.
This next slide highlights some of our students from last school year, and it really shows the importance of having a quiet designated learning space. And again, good quality headphones so students can zone out while they're at home and really focus on their academics. And right now I'm gonna pass it back to Ms. Pat.
Okay, so I'd like to say that what Catch is really good at is sending kids to college. We provide opportunity and access to some of the greatest universities in the world. And we're a small charter school in South Central Los Angeles, and I want you to be mindful that your child has the opportunity to go to any university in the United States if they do and work with us. We are the highest performing high school in South Central Los Angeles. Let me say that again. Catch Prep is the highest performing school in South Central Los Angeles. Our educational program is rigorous. We need for you as a parent to take it seriously. and you as a student to take it seriously. If you want to go to college and you do everything seriously that you're supposed to do, then we can make that dream come true. Our teachers are committed, our staff is committed. Take school seriously. I want you to go to college. Do you want to go to college? And what we'd like to do is make sure that our children can succeed in college. And the way that they can succeed is by learning and engaging in the educational process daily. Okay, that's our presentation for today, and we'd like to now open up our question and answer period. Any questions?
Hi, Ms. Pat. We have a couple of questions, so I'm going to kind of read them and go over them. Feel free to answer them or direct them to whoever you'd like. Mina Webster asked, will there be a time frame that text messages are sent out, such as 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday? She said, I noticed that the text messages started to get overwhelming and sent out constantly all day and weekend. I don't know if you want to address that, but I think we do send them out Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Ms. Pat, do we ever not do that?
I think we send them out Monday, 8 to 5. And you know how I know that that's probably what it is because I said to Dr. Arnold earlier this week, I said, you know, I think we should just send them out all the time. And Dr. Arnold said, we have a schedule. The schedule is 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So I don't think that we're sending out any text messages over the weekend. Now, the text message may have a lot of information in them, but we don't share any information that you shouldn't have. Dr. Arnold.
Yeah, so I mean, if we definitely want feedback on that. If for some reason you're getting the messages outside of that time frame, you might want to contact your carrier, but we never send messages on the weekend unless it would be like a student emergency or something like that, or a school shutdown or something like that. But in general, our messages go out and our emails go out 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Dr. Arnold.
Yeah.
Maybe they're talking about teachers. Now,
I think this is a new I think this is a new parent.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. Mika asked, we will be in the dining room for school. So I think she's talking about a learning space, Miss Pat. Do you want to address that?
The dining room is fine. I did my work at the kitchen table. We didn't have a dining room, but the kitchen table served as my desk, and the dining room table can serve as your desk. But we just want to make sure that you have a comfortable space, quiet space for you to do your work. The dining room table is very good.
She asked a follow-up question, Ms. Pat, that said, does the mic need to be on during instruction? And just to, my first thoughts on that are, in general, if there's some sort of a discourse, which is a conversation between students and teachers, then there are absolutely going to be moments where the mic does need to be on. But I also think that there are going to be moments, depending on what's happening in class, where students are receiving information, or maybe they're writing something in a response on a document. So I would say that there are likely going to be moments where the mic needs to be on, but it might not need to be on all the time. Ms. Pat, any thoughts on that in terms of what else might be going on in the home?
I think you answered that.
Okay. Sir Charlie said, yeah.
Sorry, I just need to interrupt just to go back to the text messaging hours. So Mr. Singleton, our teacher, said that, asked the same question, Ms. Pat, if she was referring to teacher text messages. And there was a response that said, yes, you're right. It's teachers' messages coming in at all hours.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now that the teachers are on campus from 8 until 4, those are the hours that you will receive text messages.
Yeah.
You will not receive a text message during the evening or over the weekend because there's ample time. There's ample time for teachers to get in touch with you. Now, if a teacher has a question, hopefully they're calling you.
Thanks, Ms. Pat. These are really helpful questions. We're going to go over every single question and answer because we think they're relevant to everybody. So please feel free to listen and type in any questions that you may have. You can also raise your hand, quote unquote, in chat and voice a question if you'd like as well. So Charlie asked, when and how are we getting our schedule? Ms. Pat?
You will receive your schedule from us during the hours of 8 and 4. And you will probably receive it around the school starts on the 18th, which is a Monday. So you will probably receive it Thursday or Friday prior to the first week of school.
Yeah, the 18th is a Tuesday. And and just like Ms. Pat said, we want to make sure that we program everybody based on student need and on your catch plan. So you'll likely get it Thursday or Friday, but that will just tell you where you're going to class. Right now, you know that you're going 9 to 1. It's just a matter of what teachers you're seeing in what order, and that will be given to everybody, like Ms. Pat said, the Thursday or Friday before school begins. There was another question. Isaiah asked, there will be no break between classes. Isaiah, the idea is that we want to make sure that students can go to school synchronously and thoroughly throughout the day. And so if you need to take a break or go to the bathroom or stretch, that's absolutely possible. But we anticipate that those needs are going to be different and various depending on home situations. And so you'll be able to set up that protocol with your teacher. But in general, no, you're going to be going from one class to the next. And as you need to take a break, you may take a break. But we're not expecting 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes break between classes, as that's likely not needed. We want to make sure that everybody gets as much instruction and education as possible throughout the day. There was a question, are we able to check our grades? Ms. Pat, in the text message we sent out, we talked about that actually I don't think we talked about it, but that we're going to be using Google to communicate our grades this year. So that's why we're going to spend the first week of school, parents, really getting you connected to all of your student information so that your grade, the grades of your students will be sent to you automatically every week. And students, you're able to check your grades 24 hours a day. They're constantly posted through your Google Classroom protocol.
I just like to add to that. Remember that the students are getting out at 1 o'clock. So it's 9 to 1 for instruction, all right, for tests. But all of the work should be graded and the grade should be in by the next day. If not the next day, then within 2 days.
Absolutely. Good morning. Indonesia's mom is on here. She said, can the student daily report for Google Classroom be sent to multiple Gmail emails? And the answer is yes. You'll be able to set that up with your teachers. There's a way to link every student to an adult email address, and I believe we can do that. If not, you would obviously be able to forward those messages, but I do believe that there's a way to do that. I just don't want to be quoted on it now. Ms. Pat Sky asked, when are seniors going to be able to take senior pictures?
Okay, for the past 18 years, or I should say 17 years, because we've had a graduating class for the past 17 years. That's the only thing that we do not participate in. We do not participate in senior pictures. So you can use whatever company that you feel comfortable with for your senior pictures. Now, your cap and your gown, you won't have it when you take your senior pictures. Just remember that our cap and gown is black. So when you go take your picture, they supply the gowns. You just remember to use a black cap and gown.
Hi, Ms. Pat. Jayla asked, how will the students meet their teachers or know what classes that they have? And so you want to address that again?
Just say it again.
So again, all classes are going to be distributed the Thursday or Friday before the first week of school. And then students will be able to, well, first of all, we've had an open house where we introduced all teachers that is available online. Please visit our YouTube channel. Teachers are actually in this meet right now, and we can do a quick hi from everybody once we answer some questions. And then also the Thursday or Friday when we send out those schedules, there'll be a time for teachers to have a quick 15 or 30-minute session with all of their students, introduce themselves, and get people ready for the Tuesday coming up. Does that sound good, Ms. Pat?
Yes.
Great. Isaiah asked a question. Last year, I had issues with PE class. I'm unable to set up my computer and work out at a place because that would disturb the working space for my sister, which is also working.
Doc?
And do you want to address that, Ms. Pat, for Isaiah?
I want you to address it.
Yeah, Isaiah, I think the answer is that you want to do the absolute best that you can. I mean, we're mindful of the individual home spaces, but at the same time, doing your PE classes is essential. And so I believe Ms. Tongu had live workout sessions, and I believe she also had it where students could post their workouts at another time. And so I imagine that working with Ms. Tongu, there would be a way for you to work that out. Ms. Tongu, you're actually here. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Good morning, Dr.
Good morning.
Arnold, and hi, Leah. I think Dr. Arnold summarized that very well. And as you remember from the last few months at the end of the year, that's exactly what you're going to be doing. So there's always the option to rewatch the workout later. And then, you know, you do have to make sure that there's somewhere you can film yourself and send that to me so I have proof that you did the workout. So, but these are one-on-one cases, and we will figure that all out.
Absolutely. And so Maya Ree's mom asked, from 9 to 1, students will receive instruction and take notes, or will they also complete classwork during that time? If not, does that mean classwork and homework will only be completed between 1 to 3:30?
Well, classwork will be done in class. And then homework will be done after 1.
And from, yeah, exactly. And I think you have it right, Mom, that from 9 to 1, students are receiving instruction, right? So they're being inputted with information that's new. They're having discussions in group format that they can't have otherwise. After 1 p.m., we really envision that that's a time for students to receive individual help from teachers if they need it, and also for them to collaborate with each other. They can actually set up their own Google Meets and talk that way. So that's going to be possible, work together in groups. But in regards to homework is done from 1 p.m. to any time. As somebody who teaches English at Catch, we would envision that some long, extended process papers can be worked on, in the evening, on the weekend, at any time that's conducive for the student. Students managing their time is part of what we want to teach them as they're getting ready for college. So 1 to 3 is really individual support, maybe some group work, and then after that, as needed, students should feel free to work on homework or studying or reviewing for a quiz or a test or writing an essay. There's a question, do we have a homeroom or do we go straight to period 1? Ms. Pat?
You go straight to period 1.
And homeroom at Catch is really that Friday class. We call it Catch class. And so that's really our homeroom. When we're not in a virtual learning, that's a time where everybody does the same assignment all at once at the same time during the day. For virtual learning purposes, we'll be doing that on Friday. Another question, Ms. Pat, is there somewhere confidential for students who may feel they need to talk to a teacher, such as a safe zone or something? If they feel in danger, I know a lot of students feel comfortable telling their teachers. If they're being abused, but since it's virtually, how can students know where to turn? I notice Catch is a very safe and close-knit school.
Dr. Arnold.
So first and foremost, that's part of the reason why we have the campus open. And so students can meet with teachers one-on-one in confidential meet settings. But if something is really, really important and a student or a parent wants to talk to an adult about it, you can absolutely come to the school and have that conversation. School is not open for group learning, for large gatherings throughout California because it's unsafe. But what's not unsafe is to have individual appointments in a social distance format with masks where students are or parents are communicating important social, emotional, or confidential conversations with somebody that they trust. Ms. Fuentes, I believe you're online. Do you have any recommendations or thoughts on that?
I don't think Ms. Fuentes is here.
Oh, okay. Ms. Fuentes is our school counselor and mental health professional on campus.
And she is on campus from 8 to 4 every day.
Every day.
That's our school counselor.
Alexandra Lopez asked, what do you guys do for PE? Alexandra, Ms. Tongu is our PE teacher and was just going over that. But for anybody interested in what PE looks like, you can click on our website, the Online Learning Academy, and click on Ms. Tongu, the PE teacher's profile. You'll be able to see videos of what PE looks like in a virtual format. Ms. Tongu's awesome. She leads school-wide yoga sessions and Pilates and does workouts, and it's really, really awesome. And it's not only for students, parents. If you want to join our PE classes, you're more than happy to. It's a great workout for everybody.
But please remember that you only take PE in the 9th grade and the 10th grade. You only take PE in the 9th grade and the 10th grade.
So Genesis asked, can I work outside? It's more chill and quiet.
Of course.
Yeah. Again, this is about whatever works for you. These are our recommendations. We absolutely do think, though, that a learning space is essential, and headphones would absolutely be very helpful. Ms. Pat, that's all the questions that are here. Before we go, are there any more questions that maybe people who have called in have? If you want to unmute your microphone and ask a question, we could talk to you that way. Ms. Pat?
I think that what we can do now is we can again introduce the teachers, and Ms. Martinez can say what the teachers will be teaching because she can see it.
Great. And there's a question also about, do we get a snack or just nutrition and lunch? Do you want to talk about breakfast, Ms. Pat?
So the district is providing breakfast and lunch. The district is providing breakfast and lunch. So in the breakfast, I'm assuming there's enough in there for you to feel that you've been given a snack. Does that make sense?
Sure does. And then Ms. Pat, do you want to talk about during the year how nutrition works?
No. Do you?
Okay. Well, a lot of our students haven't gone to Catch before, so they may have questions about, you know, what is the nutrition protocol? How does it work?
Dr. Arnold?
Yeah, so we have a nutrition period during our regular bell schedule. That's also posted online. And so during nutrition, it's a time for students to snack and have food, and there are also fruits and whatnot available during nutrition, but there's not a nutrition that's served by Catch, but there is a dedicated time for that. Alexandra, you asked a question about PE. I actually looked at your schedule, and I believe you've had 2 years of PE, so you should be good. If you haven't had 2 years of PE, you do need that in order to graduate in the state of California, but I can double check your schedule and let you know. Okay, Ms. Martinez.
Okay, so we have first up Ms. Batey. So is Ms. Batey going to be?
Can we go to Ms. Batey?
Can we go to Ms. Batey? Ms. Batey, are you there?
I'm here. I don't know if you can see me. Can you see me?
I'm going to pin you real quick.
We're gonna.
You're getting pinned, Ms. Batey.
That's Ms. Batey.
I can't see me, so I don't even know if I'm on here. I'm Ms. Batey. I am the English teacher this year. I believe I will be teaching 10th and part of 11th grade English. Looking forward to getting started with all of you. We'll see what the year holds with this new way of learning.
Thank you, Ms. Batey. Next up is Ms. Rachel. Can we pin Miss Rachel?
Yeah, I got to scroll.
Sorry, my building's being retrofitted right now, so I'm not quite in the environment, but I wish you guys all the best, and I can't wait to see you very soon.
No worries, Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel will be teaching English 9 and drama/play production and 12th grade English. Next up, Miss Tongu. I think she's ready. Can we pin Miss Tongu?
You're muted, Miss Tongu.
Sorry about Tongu. I will be teaching PE this year and Spanish, and I'm really excited to see everyone again and meet all our new students. I can't wait. See you guys soon.
Thank you, Ms. Tongu. Next up, we have Mr. Singleton.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Singleton. I teach mathematics at Catch, and I'm very excited for this next year. It will be rigorous but fun, and please, please, please contact me if you have any needs, questions, or, you know, just to say hello.
And Mr. Singleton specifically will be teaching geometry and algebra 2. Next up is Mr. Newton.
Hello, Mr. Newton here. I'll be teaching Algebra 1 and Math Analysis. And it's a little funky with this distance learning. It's going to be rigorous, like Mr. Singleton said, but all you have to do is work along and ask questions when necessary. I'll be working with you as much as I can. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody who's starting at Catch.
Thank you, Mr. Newton. And now we have Miss Redmond.
Hi, I'm calling in by phone. It's Miss Redmond. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody. I teach biology, AP biology, and environmental science.
Thank you, Miss Redmond. Next up, Mr. Pierce.
Hey, hello, everybody. I'm also calling in on my phone, and I'll be your friendly neighborhood chemistry teacher.
That's chemistry and AP chemistry. Next up is Mr. Park.
Mr. Park, you're on mute if you're talking.
Ms. Martinez, Mr. Park will be teaching.
Mr. Park will be teaching AP US History and a history elective. More, I believe it's African American history. Next up, we have Mr. Pexon.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Mr. Pexon. I'll be your guys' social science teacher next year. I'm excited to meet all of you guys when the time comes.
And Mr. Pexon will teach world history, economics, and government, and psychology.
Nice.
And that's all I have.
Okay, so you've met our teaching staff. Dr. Arnold?
Yes.
Where do we go next?
So we've answered all of we've had a question and answer session and are available by phone if people have follow-up questions. We're going to be sending out a transcript of this conversation and this presentation and a text message to a link to this video if you'd like to watch or send to additional family members or students if they were unable to attend. And we'll do that between the hours of 8 and 5 today. You'll probably get it in the next few hours, actually. And there's also a lunch survey coming, so please make sure you fill that out. And again, we're really excited to have everybody back that was here last year and to add so many new and wonderful students and families. We really do, and Ms. Pat, I'm sure you have something to say about this, but we really do wish that we could see everybody face to face, but unfortunately the circumstances in regards to ensuring the health and safety of all of our students and teachers makes it so that we must teach remotely. But if and when the state of California allows and other schools throughout the county of Los Angeles begin to open up, trust and believe that Catch will be there to provide the kind of school and learning environment that students thrive in and that prepare students for access to rigorous top-tier colleges and universities. Ms. Pat?
I would just like to say that in closing, your students will be going to school. Your students will be in school at home. The teachers will be available at school. So hopefully we can administer the best teaching and learning that we can during these difficult times. And I would like to thank you all for logging in. Thank you so very much.
Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.